to a next level table edition of the SuperGen podcast. As always, I'm Alex, joined by Ryan, Andy, and Brian, and let's get right into that last week follow-up juicy goodness. Wind Waker. Oh, this is perfect, Andy. So, I believe we have a direct quote, if the editor can pull this clip here, of you saying it will be a long time. It'll be a while before they can beat this Wind Waker record because of like the low percentage chance of someone getting this glitch successfully, and it happened since we recorded the last podcast. Yeah, I think maybe even before we recorded the last podcast.
Right before we recorded
because
the last
it was
podcast.
like already a couple week old news that we were just like stumbling upon and getting really excited about because it was exciting to us, and then like beyond that. We have like the delay of recording to when the podcast actually goes up. But that's already beaten. And then I just want to clarify, it's somewhat of a correction, more of a clarification. It is only at this time possible in the HD version of the game.
HD. Okay.
Which we weren't sure about.
It is technically possible in the older version of the game, but I watched like a whole breakdown video of this. Apparently, you need to accelerate Link to like a certain speed or something like that to like break through the barrier, and no one has found a way to do that in the original version of the game because of the frame rate or because of something mechanic of the game
but something
that behaves
is different
differently
between the two different versions of the game that allows that to happen in the HD version.
So it is technically possible, like in the old one, but no one has found a way to do it yet. To accelerate,
you have to break
that
TPU
fast,
alignment and all that.
So that's a big follow-up, and then also the namesake of last week's episode, Far Cry 5, is now more official.
It's pretty much official.
Yeah,
from Ubisoft.
It's more official from Ubisoft.
Spaghetti Warfare?
Yeah.
Yes, Spaghetti Wildlands.
Spaghetti Wildlands.
Spaghetti Wildlands.
Spaghetti Hardline. And so the Crew 2 was also announced by them.
Shadow dropped today.
And they dropped like their official E3 conference time. Their press conference will be Monday, June 12th at 4 p.m.
Yep.
So be sure to...
We'll be here for it.
Yeah, we'll be here.
Is anybody here excited for Crew 2, though?
No.
The Crew 2,
I think it's
me personally... No.
I know.
But I'm excited that they have such like a... I mean, they have Far Cry, they have Assassin's Creed, they have the Crew 2, I guess. That's like the bottom of the list. And then they also have South Park. All this year. That's a lot of big games for 1 year.
And they also said that 4 AAA games are going to be released in fiscal year 2019. So that's 4 more massive games coming between April 1st of next year and March 31st of 2019.
Yeah, so I mean, it's really, and a lot of these games are games that I'm not typically excited about or have not been excited about in a long time. Yeah. Not since Assassin's Creed 1 we talked about last week have I been like, really like, ooh, I gotta go get this game.
Yeah, right.
Ever since I played Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
And
I gotta take that back though. I was thinking Project Cars, not
okay.
The Crew's actually okay.
I wasn't a big fan of the Crew, but the concept behind it was really cool.
You have like Forza, and then you have Gran Turismo, maybe someday, eventually. And those are like the big like titles, and then there's so much scum. Yeah, there's so much scum around that have just generic titles that it's just so hard to keep.
I haven't cared about
I'm not saying Burnout isn't good. I'm not saying the Crew isn't good. But they all have like these 2-word, 1-word generic titles. And there's so many of them, it's like just overwhelming. It's like, oh, which one was that?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
You know? I don't know. I haven't cared about any of these games since Burnout 3 Takedown.
But
that's the last one I cared about.
The Crew, Dirt, Drive Club. Oh my gosh, I know there's way more.
Mario Kart.
ATV.
Mario 2 words, generic title. Sonic and Sega's Superstars Racing Transform.
That's more than 2 words.
What is it with these? No. And that one obviously stands out. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So,
it's a good game.
They need to do another
I'm more excited.
Last week follow-up.
That's Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing. That's what they need to bring
Rest
back.
in peace.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Good.
One day it's coming back.
Racing game with an overworld, just like it's my thing.
Yeah, that's
like exactly what I want.
Crash did that as well.
Yeah,
back in the day, Crash Nitro Kart, I want to say.
Yeah.
Had an overworld, and you had to navigate through that.
Mickey Mouse Racing.
Platforming.
Race Speedway USA or something.
Yeah. Another one of these. Take notes.
For sure.
Race Mania.
Games we can actually look forward to on the horizon, though, not speculation.
Yep.
So in the news this week, we got a brand new Kickstarter campaign for Project Rap Rabbit, which I believe is a code name, or at least a temporary name for the game. But this Kickstarter...
But it could stick, who knows?
Yeah, it could stick. This Kickstarter brings together two giants in the rhythm or like rap game industry. You've got Parappa the Rappa and Guitaru Man, like creative directors
Which Guitaru Man,
together.
that is a very underappreciated game. Guitaru Man was so good.
I think it was maybe underappreciated more like in the U.S.
Yeah, no, for sure. In Japan,
more
it was
than
wildly
abroad.
popular.
Yeah.
But here in the U.S., it just did not do well, and that was sad, man. Those games are good.
So we've got these two creative masterminds working together on this, and they have like a really nice, like their Kickstarter page is very well planned out, laid out.
It's gonna do well. It's gonna do well.
It'll do well for money. We'll see if it does well.
That's what I meant.
We can break the Kickstarter curse. As of the recording, they were already over $100,000. They're only looking for $1.1 million, so they need
to get on
PS4. Kickstarter
and,
video
this is
games
like,
are so difficult to do,
early,
right?
yes, they
because
are.
it takes so long. Because it's like you back this game, and then it takes years to get.
They haven't started on
you
it,
know.
so this
and
is literally how to do it.
So it becomes to the point where like you get super excited about this game, and then by the time it comes out, you're just not as excited anymore because it's just run its course in the media, you know.
So is this an issue with Kickstarter? Because we typically, when any game, like, it has like waves of hype. So you have your leaks, okay, and there's a small wave, okay, and then you have your official announcement, and there's this big wave of hype, and then it goes back down, and then you have like your E3 trailer, and you've got this wave of hype, and it's just constantly like, you know, up until the game comes out, and maybe you have a beta that increases hype, stuff like that. And like with Kickstarter, it really just seems like, you know, here, take my money, and then you just kind of sit.
Yeah, that's the problem. And that's kind of...
And even like Broken Age and stuff like that, they made a documentary while making that game, and it still didn't feel like you could generate that same level of hype that they can with mainstream media.
Like, this is like a major issue. The major issue here is like the time between when you know about the game's existence and then when it actually comes out, because for video games that development cycle is so long, you know, where like Kickstarter works really well for board games because you back a game and then maybe a year later
turnaround's
you get
a lot
the game.
quicker.
Yeah. You get the game like a year later, even after they've done all the play testing and they haven't done anything yet, you know, and they do all of that stuff within a year and then they can produce, you know, and like video games are not like that. So I've backed probably 4 video games, one of which has come out, and that's Ukulele. You know, like every other video game that I've backed in the last
how's that camera treating you?
4 or 5 years, the camera in Ukulele, it's you know what I think the problem with the camera in Ukulele is it feels like binary, like you are either moving the camera or you're not. It's not like you can move it at a certain speed or you can like, and also on PC the controls are not remappable, so like I wanted to like play with a GameCube controller, you know, and you can't do that. You just can't, because they switch the A and B buttons on that and it just doesn't work. And on an Xbox controller there's just some weird things. I don't know, it's just like there are things like that get in the way of having fun with that game.
That was my exact experience with it.
Yeah.
But, and that's all that's come out as far as video games.
Yeah, so far that's it. That's everything. Like, of all 4 of the games I've backed on Kickstarter, that's the only one that's actually released, you know? And I've just lost interest in every other game that I've backed on Kickstarter. I've forgotten.
Did you back Bloodstained?
What is it?
Bloodstained?
No.
See,
I'm
still excited for that.
I backed a game called... God, I don't even remember what the games are. Like, I've backed one called Perception, which is this game that's coming out soon.
Though.
Yeah,
that's
Perception's
like
finally coming out, and it's been years since I've.
And that game looks really cool.
And it does look really cool, but the whole concept is that you're a blind person, and like you can only see what you can hear,
right?
You know, in the game.
And
it's super clever.
It like visualizes like what it would look like, kind of based on what she's thinking.
And then another one that I backed is a game called Universim, which is like a world simulation game where you're like trying to like build, like kind of keep your humans happy and like have them build a civilization, and then eventually you could actually move out into space and explore other planets, and it looks gorgeous, but it was just basically a concept at the time, and I don't know how much of that has actually transferred into the game, but that's not even been officially released yet either, you know? And there's others, and I'm rapidly losing interest in these games, and it's just because it's been so long since I first heard about them, you know?
That's the only negative to
old
Kickstarter,
concepts, you know?
It takes so long.
Yeah, so it's a problem with Kickstarter
when
it comes to video games, but I don't know. Maybe Yooka-Laylee will break out.
Well,
of that,
Kickstarter.
but...
That's like. I mean, I feel like a big part of their revenue and a big part of their focus is video games.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that we have this we haven't really had a lot of successful games come off of Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like just these negative stories completely overshadow the positive stories.
Sure.
People love conflict and they love to complain about, whatever. They didn't get what they expected.
What video games that you guys know have come from Kickstarter that have been successful?
Mighty Number 9.
No.
I'm joking.
Critically successful? I thought Broken
some.
Age did really well. I didn't get a
Isn't
chance to
Banner
play it,
Saga?
but that was
Banner
Tim
Saga
Schafer
was
game.
I
Kickstarter.
think Banner Saga was out on other things first before it came to
But I
Kickstarter.
think wasn't the second one Kickstarter only?
Maybe.
I think so.
Sure. But they were probably building on their original IP.
And Banner Saga?
Was it Friday the 13th that's coming out Kickstarter? Or am I thinking something else?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, people are hyped about
Yeah,
that.
but that's the thing is
That
it's
comes out
not
in a
like
month.
there are
Next week? Next Friday?
Yeah.
There are great projects being done on Kickstarter, but I feel like
I think we forget about those that are
we
on
forget
Kickstarter
about them,
that are
yeah.
great ones. We
True.
don't remember the bad.
I don't know for sure.
Shaq Fu. Come on.
Oh yeah, coming out again, Shaq.
Yeah, that is Kickstarter. Friday the 13th, the game.
Yeah.
And that's that's a big problem because it just takes too long, and we lose it.
We're impatient. Well, and typically you have this press team and this media, you get to control when your game is revealed.
Exactly.
And when your game...
And into development. Right. You have stuff
and
to
when
show,
you have trailers and
Yeah.
when you're going to have a beta and also, I guess just... They have way more control.
Because we could even look at standardly released games that have just taken so long to develop.
Yeah.
The Last Guardian. Took so long to develop.
9 years in the
Nine
making.
years in the making, and everybody
And
knew about it. Basically, the whole time,
Worth the wait.
and then it comes out, and everyone's like, "Sweet."
I wish I had my last Guardian shirt right now.
Yeah, I think that's a big problem in the video game industry. Period. But
Yeah.
Kickstarter just exacerbates that problem because it's necessary.
Right.
To give it that.
How long
much.
was Final Fantasy 15 in development for?
That's
It was like a
another
single-
one.
2006.
Yeah.
10
And they
years.
still couldn't
10
get the
years,
co-op
yes.
done.
Yeah.
I'm still
Don't worry
waiting
about
for that update.
Yeah.
I will consider purchasing the season pass and repurchasing the game, which I've already resold.
Yeah.
Just to play that. It feels like it's built for it. It's one of those games that is built around squad-based multiplayer that they just don't let you play with other people.
Yeah.
Why?
Didn't
And I
have
guess
time for that
that's
in
the
development.
thing
Didn't
that
have
sucks
time.
about games
Didn't
like
have
that
time.
is that you can't just secretly develop a huge game like that and not
Right.
tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
You kind of have to get it out there, find out if people are interested, and then you get the funding. Otherwise it's not. It's difficult to get something like that done.
So, and we'll probably see some more Kickstarter on the horizon. We already know we've got Valve talent. We've been waiting on that. What was that? 2 episodes ago.
Half-Life 3 Kickstarter
And
soon.
now we have
Right.
we have a ton of talent coming from IO Interactive, Square Enix. This is the
Oh,
team
God, yeah.
that worked under them on the new Hitman title, amongst other things. And I mean, these guys are just all free agents now, essentially. I mean,
Yeah.
they were all
Such a crazy story.
yeah. And I mean, I guess beyond these guys being out in the wild, is there a development team that you would like to see them go to, or would you like to see someone emerge from the ranks and become a leader and create their own studio, or what?
I want to see them get picked up. I mean,
Yeah.
they're a quality studio. Square Enix, I think, was crazy to let them go. I could easily see someone like Bethesda or Deep Silver, THQ Nordic, someone that's... I mean, obviously Bethesda, they've made a name for themselves, but THQ Nordic and Deep Silver, they've been picking up a lot of studios lately just to try to build up their repertoire of stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, that would be so cool to see them. Now, the only thing that sucks, they don't own that Hitman IP.
Yeah,
They're gonna
so
be-
they can't do
That's
that.
a big problem with a lot of these
Yeah.
projects too, because I think a lot of these Kickstarters, I don't know how the Friday the 13th one was, if they secured the rights to that game, to that.
I think
that
the
IP
dude that
before
actually
they
owned
did
it sold it and let them do it.
Okay, because
So,
a lot of
didn't sell
these
it, but-
Kickstarters, especially for board games now, a lot of people are like, we're gonna make The Thing, the board game,
Yeah.
and then they go out and they do their Kickstarter, and then a big part of the funding is to actually
pay for the
acquire the IP, and that happened.
The
with
licensing,
a game,
yeah.
that happened with a game called Dark Moon, which is now called Dark Moon, and was originally The Thing game, and they had to retheme that game completely because they couldn't get the rights to The Thing, But I can imagine that happening in video games also.
I would assume.
But like to answer your question, my original like dream team before we heard about the whole like the new like what's that game like Death Stranding.
Okay,
that whole thing.
Kojima.
Like Kojima, like him and like Guillermo del Toro and like the whole like the whole concept of Silent Hills, you know, like when that game got scrapped and they like kicked out Kojima, and I was like, kickstart that idea, kickstart that game, or call it something else. But if it's Guillermo del Toro and Kojima, and like they are making a horror game, I would pay years in advance to play that game. You know.
I was super excited for PT.
Yeah, me too. PT was so amazing.
Yeah. I sadly don't have it on my PS4 anymore. I mistakenly deleted it before I knew that they were going to take it off.
Dude, yeah, that sucks.
So I am very disappointed.
Don't worry, it's not mine, but I'm too scared to play it.
I'm gonna hold on to that Resident Evil 7 first hour. I thought that was really well done as well.
I
thought that was really
good
well
demo.
done.
Really
good
good
demo. Sold me the game for sure. And then I guess so. These were talented individuals being taken, obviously, because Square Enix. Yeah. Square Enix was not happy with the success, let's say, or lack thereof, of Hitman.
Or Hitman.
Yeah.
Really?
Of Hitman. Yeah, and I mean...
Which is surprising.
So Hitman...
So this game was fairly critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
I've heard
there are
great
some naysayers out there.
It's really good.
that say once you get into it, well, it seems like there's actually just a couple of paths. It doesn't seem as broad and open as they make it appear to be.
Sure.
Which is fine. I mean, there's obviously going to be criticism of any game that's out there. Yeah. I've been critical of Breath of the Wild, one of the highest reviewed games of all time. You know what I mean? Everyone has
any of that.
Everyone has criticism, but I mean, I don't think it did financially well for them. So, what does this mean for that business model? Because this was a completely new model, really.
Yeah, you're talking about the episodic
system.
The episodic shot in the foot was
the only other like big successful games that have done this are going to be like your Telltale games. Really, and that makes sense because it's a story.
It makes sense because once you finish the one part, it's like, I need that next part.
Yes.
When you're playing these Hitman games, it's like,
it's like watching another episode of a TV show.
I'm not going to say the same with Hitman. Like, Hitman's cool, you can play in the same level, do multiple paths and all that. Yeah. But when the next one drops, it's just like, here's a new scenario, same concept of what you're doing. Just
and I can see somebody getting into that, but not as much, not nearly as much as trying to continue a story. That's why people want Half-Life 3 so badly.
They play it off like you actually are waiting for
I will buy the next episode of
27.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, that's what being a Hitman's all about.
Yeah.
Okay, it's immersive and stuff like that, but how much do we want to be immersed versus how much do we... You know what I mean? It's like PlayStation Home. Do I want to wait in line to play an arcade game?
That was so good.
That's funny.
So good.
Beautiful. Bring back PlayStation Home, please. We've said it before on this podcast. VR is the perfect time. Let's go.
Imagine you PlayStation Shed. It's like one step down from home and it's just like this really messed up stuff.
What is MASH like that? Is it a mansion?
It's like they just didn't get enough money in Luigi's Mansion. They just got like, PlayStation 10.
No, but I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, you have games like For Honor, who just like essentially showed off their new like season 2 characters. You have games like Rainbow Six, games like Destiny, who released this big game up front, and it's a complete game, and they say we're going to release episodic content in that it'll improve that existing experience.
Yeah, right. That's a very
but there
different
hasn't.
thing.
Yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah.
It's different
because basically, like what Hitman was saying is, we are going to release a portion of a game, and then we are going to episodically make you pay for other parts of that game.
Which, if you remember, was very criticized.
Which was hugely criticized. And that being said, I've heard great things about that game.
It's good.
You know, but man, that's probably the reason
and you
why
could,
it didn't sell.
To me,
you know?
It's like, if you could give me just part of the game right now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, so
like
I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy. No. I've seen totally different. I've seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2, and sure, I'd like to see Volume 3, but I don't want to wait for them to make Volume 3 to be able to watch Volume 2.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
No, sure.
Like, these levels in Hitman, these experiences, they were just that. I mean, maybe it's not a complete game, it's not a complete story, whatever else, but it's something you can play, and it's something to tide you over, and it's, it's like we talked about, like, with your game announcements, like, there's always that, like, piece of cake in front of you, like, that extra thing, like, you're always looking for the next one. that's fine, but at least you have something to enjoy for now versus it just being way in the distance and there's nothing else that you can do. And then you have that hype go down, you know what I mean, before it goes back up again. Whereas with this, it's much smaller wavelengths.
Sure.
And then I think the issue with sustainability is those wavelengths are much tighter.
Yeah.
Because that hype doesn't get a chance to get that big downfall. It can't build back up.
Yeah.
And so you don't have a bunch of hype, so you don't have a bunch of people buying the game en masse because...
So that's true. Would you rather have one big hump or a bunch of small little ones? And I feel like Hitman had that small little one just the whole time.
And it seems like, I mean, based on what they're saying, by canning all these people, by getting rid of IO Interactive, they're saying, didn't work out for us, not for us.
You There's one thing that scares me about that, and that's they're going to follow the same model with the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
That's true.
That terrifies me, because Square Enix is still going to do that. And it's still planned to be episodic.
Yeah, they were saying it was going to be episodic.
And
that's
because
interesting.
we just can't fit it all on one Blu-ray disc.
Which is bullshit.
I know.
They just wanted...
ridiculous.
Whatever, man. Final Fantasy VII back in the day on PS1. How many? Four discs?
But that was then.
That was on PS1.
What's the most discs you've ever owned for a game? I'd love to know, from the panel here or in the comments. Like, the most discs. I think Lost Odyssey was probably it for me. I think that's 5 discs.
Yeah, that was 5.
I want to say it's 5.
I think it was
no,
1.
There's like Star Wars Galaxies though on PC.
Over here.
You take out 7 CDs and then it's like...
Yeah.
Oh, Age of Empires 3 was like that.
Yeah, Steam doesn't.
It was like a stack. It wasn't even like separate compartments or like little things you can flip through. It was a stack.
That's so good.
But I think 5 might be the most for a console game.
About Square Enix doing that again. Because... I don't want to see that.
So you don't want that business model. You agree agree with them.
I don't want the business model. I'm hoping that this news means that they're going to change Final Fantasy VII Remake into being a single release.
Well,
even if that means it doesn't come out till 2022.
I think it would be
because that's all
insane for them to leave it out of E3 again because they left both that and Kingdom Hearts out last year.
I think we're gonna I think we'll see something on it this year.
We've got a whole year off, guys. You got to give us something to keep us keep us on the edge of our seats.
Supposedly Kingdom Hearts is next year.
Supposedly.
I brought this up last week. But they're supposed to be rushing that thing out the gate now, chopping stuff off, and then that would be so disappointing.
Trim it up. Trim the fat. No,
yeah,
get it all out of there. Release it in an episode.
Give me the Muppets.
I want to go sit around on my gummy ship and talk to. Hi, I'm King Mickey. You know, just like back and forth until the next episode comes out. I'm waiting for contracts to come in for new worlds to open.
Oh, that'd be so bad.
So bad.
Or it's like when you go to like the Hercules planet or whatever, and you actually have to physically wait for the tournament to start. You're just sitting there for like an entire calendar year for like the next tournament to start, where you have to fight against all these other guys. Like, you're watching people roll into town and stuff like that instead of just appearing from dark clouds. Like,
that's so good.
It's an interesting concept. Roll with it.
Don't do it, please.
So next on our list here, I have Sega. They're in the news this week, and because of their fiscal report that came out, and essentially their plan, they're stating that...
road to 2020.
One of the bullet points, on their road to 2020, was reviving classic IPs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they essentially cited Yakuza did well, as well as Persona.
Yeah.
Yakuza 2. Classic.
So their latest installments into those series... and these are long-running series that they took gaps in between.
They probably saw the success of Shenmue.
Yeah, could be as well.
Sonic Boom.
Yeah, Sonic Boom did really well.
He's taken popular game.
He's taken a couple of years. And we'll get into that too. But I mean, like,
but none of those games had character creators.
What do we want to see off this list? I mean, is this something that to be super excited about, or is this going to be Crazy Taxi?
I hope it's not Crazy Taxi.
I hope it is Crazy Taxi.
Would be good.
I love Crazy Taxi.
It was okay. That's not what I want.
Crazy Taxi is an awesome game, and I think remaking it.
Exactly.
No, I think remaking it would be like terrible. I think going back and playing it, it's just like that nostalgia.
Yeah.
And like even like Mario Party is getting to this level.
Yeah.
Where Mario Party is like 1 through like 5 or 6
jumped the
held up.
A long time ago.
I think Mario Party Switch is either going to be the complete flop and it's over, or like rejuvenated all back in. They go back.
They have to stop trying to do new things with Mario Party.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have to like go back to the classic Mario Party.
Stick to the formula that works.
Stick to the old formula that worked. Stop doing all this stupid with new stuff
double
that doesn't
amiibos,
work.
double the fun.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Amiibo Festival or whatever, the Animal Crossing ripoff.
I'm so sick of these new Mario Party games being terrible.
And I mean,
Hey,
even, what is it? Smash, not Smash Run, that was the one in the 3DS, but the one for the Wii U, Smash Brawl, whatever it was called.
That was like a Mario Party sort of thing.
That was more fun than Mario Party 10.
That was better than any other,
or Mario
Party any of the newer Mario Party games.
Yeah, it was, and it wasn't even Mario Party. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
basically Mario Party.
Viva Pinata Party Animals was better than Mario Party 9. Rio, all these games that are just like
Rio
the game. Have you ever played that?
I didn't.
Oh my gosh, dude!
It just sounds funny.
Literally Mario Party, but take out all the BS with the board and everything else, and it's just competition. You're just playing minigame after minigame as these colorful birds, and they're all just like Mario Party style minigames where you're trying to compete to be the best bird.
That's awesome. That sounds great.
Could be like WarioWare, yeah. So yeah, I agree. I think they've jumped the shark long ago, and they will really have to reinvent, themselves, or just go back completely to their roots.
Reinvent themselves.
Yeah. They need to talk to those guys. I'm gonna look up the developer in just a minute here. But you know what I mean? I think that's more likely than a sequel to Skies of Arcadia,
which is what I want.
You know what I mean?
I mean, being a big
that's what everyone wants.
Yeah.
But it's just
I want
honestly,
Skies of Arcadia. I want the Shining series to continue, and I want it to be successful.
That game, honestly, games just do not exist with that scope anymore.
Which is sad.
They honestly, I remember getting to the Delphinus in that game and being like, oh my god. Is this getting close to over? And then there was that was the beginning of the game.
I love my 80-hour games.
Yeah, and you could go around and recruit different party members and get into all these upgrades and ship battles and upgrade your island and oh my gosh, there was so much going on in that game, and it just doesn't happen anymore. You know what I mean? Even Final Fantasy 15, for all its time in development, it's a lot of bounties. Yep. You know what I mean? And I got the Ultima weapon before I went and talked to my sister at the first village. So,
I mean, it follows the Western formula. That's why Persona 5 is so good, because it shows what a JRPG can be in the modern era. Mm-hmm. Persona 5 should be the threshold for all JRPGs going forward. That game, 10 out of 10, perfect. So...
as we say here on the podcast. Absolutely. we don't give numerical reviews anymore. Just
out of 10.
Or even we've talked about some others. We'll have to,
it's this.
That's for another podcast. So let's get into some seepage.
Yeah.
So this was leaked onto a thread on the internet. Yeah. I want to say Reddit. That 343 was bringing something to E3, and Hype Train went off the rails. Absolutely, Halo 6 coming to E3.
That's what everyone was saying.
To the point where they actually had key people from the studio getting in and mitigating and being like, "Whoa,
calm yourselves.
We are not.
We're going Halo 7. We're keeping
They're going to Microsoft.
Yeah,
Halo 6 is canceled. Jumping right to
Halo 10.
Halo 1.
No Windows 9. Right to Halo 7. Okay. So, no, but they have a little something, are the exact quotes for E3, and it is in no way related to their major next installment in their franchise, a.k.a. Halo. So this could mean Halo 5 DLC, could mean Halo Wars 2 DLC,
season
new characters.
It's laughable.
Which the season pass already has, content announced for it. My big hope for this E3, and one of my bets going into it, was going to be that we were going to see Halo Anniversary this year. Halo 3 Anniversary.
Okay.
They've already remastered the first and second games. They did the Master Chief Collection, but they didn't do a standalone Halo 3, which was the peak, I feel of their competitive
that's what really, for sure.
I guess prowess. It was the most powerful in that, and it was balanced in that power weapons didn't just mean you won the game.
Yeah.
You could do a lot with the battle rifle.
The game is just fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there was so much more beyond that, but definitely it's heightened the competitive scene. Mm-hmm. So releasing it as a standalone game makes sense.
Yeah.
With the way that esports is growing, and TBS having it on mainstream TV and things like that.
Halo's kind of dead now.
It is.
It has been for a while.
It's definitely died off.
If they do Halo 3 Anniversary, hopefully the multiplayer works at launch, though.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Oh, yeah. That's got to be number one priority on the list.
That has to be it.
Because the campaign, you could just get the Master Chief Collection and play through the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could also go on and play Halo 3, but it's like, when you play Master Chief Collection online, it's like you don't get to just pick one game.
It's a
you don't get to just pick one game. You vote on like which game that you're playing and which map. And so it's not guaranteed that you even get to play the Halo you want to play. You know what I mean? You could be playing Halo 4, or I don't think 5's in there, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could be playing Halo 4 or Halo 2.
One day's just going to pop in there and you're going to be like,
whoa. Stealth update.
DLC.
And then the Halo 3 that's in there isn't like an anniversary edition.
It's just
like
they
did
with...
So they coined that term with the Halo 2 Anniversary Edition, where they remastered the graphics and the maps, and some of like the gameplay elements to make it like a new game.
Yeah.
So
the best thing about it was that you could switch back and forth between the graphics.
Yeah,
like,
that was cool.
in the middle of the game.
I would just spam select the entire time.
And now, but this is what worries me. The direct quote is, "We have a little something for E3." Do they really think that Halo 3 Anniversary is a little
Army and the Chief coming back?
Is Halo 3 a little something? I mean, in all honesty, like, what do you guys think?
I think, that would be big.
What if they're like, hey, we finally got the Master Chief Collection to work?
That's a little something. That's a little something. What else could a little something mean?
Yeah. Didn't they announce a year or two ago about a Halo like TV series or something, or like a series that was going to be strictly just?
Yeah, but I feel like that would be more.
Terrible.
That would be more Microsoft themselves rather than 343.
That's true.
Because how is 343 involved, or were they involved at all?
That's true.
TV series.
I'm just trying to think of something that could be little.
It would have to be video game.
What else has 343 done?
It would be Halo Wars.
Well,
mobile.
I think they're an in-house.
They were
Halo Wars for mobile systems where you could play with one hand.
They were a studio created after Bungie stopped working.
It would be the Halo version of Miitomo.
Yeah, they have that was it. That was
but I don't believe it was just like created from the ashes of Bungie. I believe it's an in-house Microsoft studio.
It's an internal team.
So
one of the three that they have.
I don't know what it could possibly mean that it's a little thing. I really hope that they don't think Halo 3 Anniversary is a little thing, because that implies they're not going to do it right.
Yeah.
And that is a big deal. That is something
or
that I would be
just
excited
saying
for
that
and pick
ironically,
up.
like, we got this little thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it's
just to keep
about it.
Everyone
don't worry about it, and then they can be like
Halo
3 Anniversary Edition.
Yeah. So, and what do you guys think about the way that they handled this? I mean, this could potentially have been a Ridge Racer situation. You know what I mean? You've got 343 you've got 343 on stage, and they're about to announce a title, and everyone's been hyped about it for an entire month.
Yeah.
Halo 6, here it comes, and then they just drop a turd on the stage. So, to me, just great job on them, like mitigating like the hype and going in there and engaging with the community, because these are the people who will buy your game. These are the people who will promote your game for free. They love your games. So way to go, like straight to the source with that, and talk really good to your fans.
Yeah.
And I wish more people would do that, and more people would maybe just like send out feelers, or have someone on staff that's like, hey, you go on Reddit, right? Like, are people gonna laugh at us if we announce this on stage? We got the
memes ready.
Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 7, when they did like the port from PC to PC.
That was good though, man. That was a picture perfect.
No applause, nothing. Like everybody.
That
just
was
like,
a picture perfect.
You mean the game we've already played? So, I mean, like you would think that if they had just asked one person, who is a fan, they would have known. Oh yeah, everyone's gonna hate this. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's like the SNL sketch with like the Pepsi commercial, whatever. He's like calling all his friends, like, "Are you sure? Like, I'm so committed to this. Like, it can't be that bad. It can't. Oh boy. So good on 343. I'm not excited for your little announcement. Way to take all the hype away instead of leaving a little bit left for us to desire. But
hey, then maybe that's
fingers are crossed for Halo 3
That's the
Anniversary.
whole point. Is
I'm
to
not
lower
giving
your
up hope.
expectations, and then when they come out with something, you'll be like, oh, cool. You know,
like, Halo
that's better
Online.
than disappointment.
The Halo MMO's coming back that they were previously.
That's what I mean. Like,
That's a little something. All right, so enough of seepage. On to this week's releases. So, wow, we got a big release week.
Yeah, it's a busy week.
Yeah. Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia. For the 3DS or the new 2DS, released today.
Friday, which is
today. So our review should be up at some points during the day. I've been playing it personally, so it'll be my review. But the embargo is up, obviously, since the game's out. So as far as like first impressions, things like that.
What do you think?
So far, I'm really liking it. They did a great job modernizing a game which I never got a chance to play because it was never brought to the US. And they added so many features that haven't been present even in the other like 3DS Fire Emblem.
What was that though? No, you did something like this, and I thought you were doing something, but it didn't.
No, they added so many features.
I don't even know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So they've added so many features that weren't present in the other Fire Emblem, like the modern Fire Emblem games in the series. Aside from just giving us access to a game that we haven't had a chance to play in the United States, like it's entirely voice acted. So all like your dialogue, which from all the way back to the first Fire Emblem I can ever remember playing, to like the newest one that came out, Fates and Birthright, they just haven't voice acted like vast majorities of the game. It was just cutscenes. So they actually took the time to go through, voice act the whole thing. It's way better than Breath of the Wild voice acting. They were able.
That's not hard to achieve. That's not hard to achieve.
And then with that, they added like an autoplay feature, so it's like watching a cutscene play out in front of you.
Okay.
Rather than pressing A like each time you're done reading dialogue, like it kind of invests you in the story more, and lets you like get a better feel for the characters, because you're like actually watching it unfold in like actual pacing and actually being acted versus just reading it off of your screen. And then like just in time for the new 2DS, all the cutscenes are like not even 3D at all. So
perfect.
Makes sense.
I like that.
I mean, the cutscenes in like I remember playing Fire Emblem. Yeah, one of them for the 3DS. Jeez, both of them were actually pretty good. The first one, Awakening, that came out, they didn't have feet, but you know, the 3D looked alright, and the cutscenes and stuff like that. And in this one, they did a good job like with the graphics, but it is not 3D at all until you're actually playing the game, until you actually have your hands on the controls. Sure. And at times it was super jarring and super like, I have to turn this off because I can't even see what's happening and I have to like close one of my eyes. So essentially manually, that's the manual 3D off switch, by the way, just close one eye.
Yeah.
So Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valentia, aside from like giving us access to a game that was only in Japan previously, they have made like a lot of improvements as far as modernizing it. I'll have the full review out today, hopefully. But that's we're recording in the past. So
perfect 10.
I would not say it's a perfect 10. Shoot.
Sorry.
That's it.
All right.
See, now they'll have to go to other videos to know how
they
that
won't
makes
know
sense.
what that joke
check out the
means
perfect
unless
10
they watch
videos.
the perfect 10.
Akiba's beaten. Right.
Akiba's Beat. It's follow-up to Akiba's Strip, Undead and Undressed, which came out a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
That was
Sounds kinky.
It was. Sweet. It was a beat-em-up kind of a game where you ran around Akihabara in Japan and beat people up and strip their clothes off.
It's one of those kind of games.
Yeah.
Great game.
It was a good game. I enjoyed
Anything to do with Oculus Rift?
Yeah.
So in Beat,
this Beat is a follow-up, but it's more of an action RPG this time. I'm super excited. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. I've ordered a copy. It's on the way. I'm really excited to dive into it and hopefully get a review up here in the next few weeks. But yeah, I'm just anytime a JRPG comes out, man, I'm super excited.
Also this week, The Surge. Andy,
The Surge.
do you know about this?
The Surge?
Yeah.
No.
You don't know about it?
Nope.
It's a Souls-like game.
Sci-fi Souls.
Another Souls game.
Sci-fi Souls.
It is the Dark Souls.
Yeah. No, I have heard about this. Yeah, I know exactly what this is.
Okay, tell me about it.
There's a lot of...
I don't know where you go.
Don't let me tell you.
So this is like a sci-fi Souls-like game where a lot of the game is like building your armor, right? Like it's like a whole there's a lot of like modular armor and like mechs and all sorts of weird mechanical stuff. And a lot of the reviews that are coming out for this right now are saying that this is a lot more than just like a Souls-like.
It's getting positive reception.
Totally unique mechanics in this game that make it very different from what a Souls game would be. You know, and I think that bodes well for it because like.
We're getting too many,
Yeah, we're getting too many games that are
Bloodborne did it right, and damn it, that was From Software.
I know, exactly. Like Bloodborne was a different enough game from the Souls games that it wasn't really a Dark Souls game, you know, and that was a From Soft game, you know, and like Nioh was more of a Dark Souls game than Bloodborne is, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? 100%. And like. So when more games like Nioh keep coming out, where it's just more very much like Souls, like this is like a breath of fresh air because it's got this really interesting like battle mechanic that is totally unique to that, and even the combat feels very different and like it's I mean using Souls as a basis for a totally new game is awesome to me. I think because it is a great foundation for a good game, you know.
Just like No Man's Sky. The foundation update. It was it's a great foundation for a game. Man, I hope they make something like with that engine.
I've been seeing comments of No Man's Sky on $5.
$5? Where at?
Yeah, in
Subway?
No, I don't even remember where it was.
I gotta buy them up.
It was like
buy low.
I think it was at a Walmart that I saw.
If Starbucks was to sell games, it would be No Man's Sky.
There was
that's all you got.
There was a PlayStation Network flash sale last week, and I was taking a look through it. No Man's Sky was on the list. $24.99.
Nice.
So
flash sale should only be like 2 seconds.
That's what it should be.
Over in a flash. Farpoint VR. Ryan, are you excited about this? You have a PlayStation VR.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Last time I pulled out the VR was when I brought it here. We recorded Resident Evil 7. It has been sitting in that same bag since I got home. I'm seriously contemplating selling the VR. Extremely sad. But then I saw this little gems popping up and everybody's like, hey, this is supposed to look great. There's like weird Destiny vibes I get from some of the images and stuff like that, which is cool because I love Destiny and all that. However, here's what's going to kill it. I don't know if you know. Is it going to be controller-based or motion wand?
I'm not 100% sure. I know they have that gun.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
the gun.
They made a gun just for it. So I think there's like an $80 version that comes with the gun.
I'm pretty sure you're going to use that gun.
I'm hopeful. So if I could be moving around with a gun, on that, I want to give it a shot.
Sure.
I think it's worth playing before you sell it.
Now that being said,
I'm not going to sell the VR though. So.
That being said, I was like messing around on Steam the other day and looking at the VR games, and there's just tons of new stuff for Vive, for Oculus and for Vive on Steam that I haven't had a chance to even look at yet. You know, and I started looking at some really interesting stuff. One of the games that just came out, I forget what it's called, but basically the concept is it's a asymmetrical multiplayer game where one person is playing a giant, like a huge person, and they're looking for all the tiny people who are running around on this map, and it's this big like industrial.
How do you control the little people?
That's
you're not in a VR
probably
headset, right?
the people who are not like because it's the one person in VR and everyone else is not in VR, so they're just doing first person like normal mouse and keyboard style movement, you know. And they're just trying to hide from the giant person who's trying to eat them all.
That's a cool concept.
You know, it's a great concept. I love it, and that was just one of the many.
Andy, we gotta clean your room, man.
I know. I gotta clear that out.
We're never gonna play the Vive again.
Get some more space up in there because it's like even when I do have it cleaned out, there's not a whole lot of space for that. Yeah, we gotta set up like a VR space to play it.
All right, next on the list, and Seasons After Fall. These are two games which we should have reviews up on the SuperGen site already.
SuperGen.tv,
so these just dropped, but our reviews have already been up for a little while now, so be sure to check those out. And get our full opinion on that rather than wasting time here on the podcast. Injustice 2 launches this week. Man, I hope I have time.
just really good facial animations. Apparently,
good.
that's like one of the things everyone's talking about. Like amazing facial animations, but.
All right, Mass Effect could have used some of that.
Yeah, they could have shared the technology.
Yeah,
Sorry.
shit.
Too bad, too sad.
And hopefully we will be further into these games that are just dropping now by next week's podcast.
Yeah.
So that should be more fodder for next week. And in addition to that, we have some big releases coming up next week.
Yeah.
Darksiders War Mastered Edition
There you
dropping
go,
for
Ryan.
the Wii U.
There you go.
What a swan
Give me
song.
it. Yeah, just give me
What
it.
a way to go. Will you be picking it up, Ryan?
No,
But you're excited for Darksiders 3?
not yet.
Are
I
you
still
gonna-
need to play 1 and 2 on the PS4.
Are you going to get the
Haven't
other big remake for Nintendo? Disgaea 5 is in
Possibly. I've been thinking about that more now than ever, honestly. So it's in the realm, but it probably won't happen.
You'll
That's
get
what I put it.
And then this actually, I put this on the
It
list.
happens.
In addition to it being an actual release next week, I think this might be the only longer development window for
Yeah.
porting. Vanquish is coming to PC. That's
Wow.
10 years, right?
Yeah, 7.
7 years.
7 years.
It's
in the
been
making.
7
Wow.
years.
That's nothing.
So
There's
Yeah.
not
Nothing on
games.
Final
That's
Fantasy.
Darksiders, how many years? Can we get a check on that?
Dude,
Little fact check.
Wow,
real quick?
I don't even remember when Darksiders came out.
The first
That was-
Darksiders.
That was a while ago.
So
Probably around the same time, probably around 7 years.
and then we'll also have, we talked about this earlier in the podcast, Friday the 13th, the game, Rhyme, and then another big Switch release, Street Fighter 2, another
Street
fighting
Fighter
game
2.
coming out.
Yeah.
So
They're
we
coming
got
to Switch games.
a action-packed next couple of weeks coming at you. And that is all the stuff that I have on the rundown for this week's podcast. I always like to leave it open for a minute for anything that people wanted to add or any games you've been playing.
Minecraft.
Minecraft Switch.
on the
It happened.
Switch.
I cannot believe you bought it after you explicitly said last week
How many times
that
do I
you
have
were
to buy
not
it?
going to buy it
How
again.
many
I know.
times have I
That's
buy
what I mean.
At least
I
one more
almost,
time.
I bought you a copy as a gift,
Yeah.
and I was too late. I guess I'll have to keep it for myself.
There we go. Now we'll play Minecraft together.
Now we'll
together.
play Minecraft.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll do more streams of that. That was a good
Yeah, that'd
time.
be
Even just like being in chat, not being in the game.
Yeah.
I need an excuse to get back into that.
Yeah, me too. I love
It's
I
been
love
too
Minecraft.
long.
It's such a good
Well,
game.
whatever, Andy. It's an inferior version. It's a mobile game.
I
It's
mean,
not
it is.
good. So.
Yeah, the PC. If you guys play the PC version, it's amazing. It really is.
And so is the Switch version. It's you could argue it's slightly less amazing, but it is still
It
an
is
amazing
significantly
game.
less amazing, but it is still amazing. It is amazing. It's
It
just
has
more
all
amazing
the
on
same
PC.
functionality.
It actually doesn't. So
Get out of here, Christian.
yeah,
It actually does.
it
So
actually doesn't.
we will not get into this argument again on this week's podcast. So that
It
I think is
quantifiably doesn't. So
it quantifiably is an awesome
All I'm
game.
going to say is
It's
Quantum
worth
Break,
playing.
Game of the Year. See you guys next week.
So hopefully we'll be playing more streams of that on the Switch. And with that, I'm Alex.
Brian.
Andy.
Brian.
And thanks for taking them.
There you go.
No. We're not bored here. Thank you for taking the time to hang out with us, and hopefully we will catch you next week. Thanks a lot. And shouts out to Wave Shaper for that excellent intro. And right now, outro music, baby.
Rolling there.
Oh, that's a nice jacket.
Yes.